So that one saying, people don't leave jobs, they leave their bosses. And that's so true. When you look at the definition of a workaholic, they say it's that human being who is unable to decide what does he do beyond his work. And he has a very small size of opportunity in his mind to think about the other dimensions of his life. Today, I want to talk about something that affects most employees, and that is a manager who is difficult to work with. My name is Pramod Parkar. I'm here today to talk about one of those dimensions that affect employees really big time. So, that one saying, people don't leave jobs, they leave their bosses. And that's so true. And if you really go and look at research, the suggestion is that why are people leaving a boss? They feel a very toxic environment to work becomes something that challenges them and pushes them to a corner. And when you speak with them, it starts with them saying, you just can't do enough for this human being. The more you do, the more he demands. The more you do, the more he pushes you. So I'm here today to tell you about how a pushy workaholic boss impacts employees and what happens as a result. So let me begin with a few positives. Who doesn't like a hardworking boss? People love hardworking people. In fact, the leaders who this boss reports to are extremely happy with this hardworking boss. But this definition of hard work and slog are two different meanings, and especially for people who report to the manager. So I have teams reporting, and I completely empathize with managers who have a whole lot to do, but they get pushed and challenged to drive their people to do more. And one of the impediments is that very often you're short of human resource. So you have a team size of 6, but on the job, on the roll, on the ground, you have 5. Your task, you believe, is 7, and you're getting it done through 5. One of those things that happen is that the manager unfortunately starts doing work that the employee is supposed to do. And then in all the confusion, he gets trapped and the employees get trapped. And what emerges is this toxicity of push. When you look at the definition of a workaholic, they say it's that human being who is unable to decide what does he do beyond his work. And he has a very small size of opportunity in his mind to think about the other dimensions of his life: social, personal, fun, work-life balance, exercise, wellness, health, all of these things. And his push to make it to the top, his push to really do well, keeps him away from these things. And little does he sometimes realize that people believe that they have a life. So I'm here to tell you about 2 things: trust, collaboration, perception, and how your image plays big time in terms of having your team believe in you and work alongside you. So why is it that people feel so pushed? One of the reasons they believe that within the 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours that they're expected to work, they seem to have ad hoc work that comes on their plate. And when you ask them, why do you work like this? They say, it's not me, it's my boss. So we do several time management, efficiency, effectiveness, self-awareness programs, which are called personal effectiveness programs. And during this, the learning about time management, in sessions there, people start by saying, it's not about my problem. I manage myself extremely well. I have a wonderful to-do list. I really know how to prioritize. The challenge is that the boss keeps coming up and taking away my to-do list, scrapping it and giving me tasks which are ad hoc. And I'm sad to say that I have now become a reactive employee. So the first point, If a workaholic has to get good work done, he needs to realize that life is made up of a whole lot of other things: family, friends, relatives, most importantly, self development. People who end up doing a whole lot of only work, they put aside these dimensions, and one of them being self development. So you look at leaders and managers, very often they get tied into this culture of getting things done now, and actually speaking, end up creating this environment called the pushy boss, the workaholic boss. So, lesson number one: your basic approach to self management and team management in terms of time, efficiency, effectiveness, and prioritization. And it all begins with unclear goals. If you have to manage this first step, then step zero is clarity of goal. Why does the goalpost keep changing in the mind of your employee? Is because unfortunately, if goal setting as an exercise isn't done well, then the expectations are not well defined, which means every time you go back with a task, the employee's self-talk is, was this discussed? Am I supposed to do this as well? Am I going to be rated on this? Will I get rewarded for this? Will this be something that I'm recognized for? And so on and so forth. So, point zero, base camp on this mountain of achieving your goals is basically ensuring the whole team understand what's to be done for the year, therefore for quarters, therefore for weeks, and therefore for a working day. If you have clarity there, I can assure you that every one of your employees, no matter where they fit on the people potential matrix, whether they're a backbone to your team or they're your stars, you'll find that if you have clarity of goal and they have clarity of goal, they do a damn good job without too much help. Number one. Number two, if you want to work hard, you're more than welcome to do that. But people have their own lives, which means you need a definite definition of what's the commitment that they bring to the team on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis. Now, if you do that and you've also shared team roles, so you are extremely clear with your team management fundamentals, you're following something as simple as the Tuckman's principle. You know where is your team right now. People will be well aware that what is expected of me. Then if there's clarity of thought, you're basically dealing with a human being who is in the mindset and the physical sense of wanting to contribute. If you stretch them a little more, they may be willing to do it. This willingness comes from the absolute understanding of clarity of thought with what and why. If you know the what and why clear, you'll figure out the how. So my recommendation is do a damn good goal setting exercise. Spell out the norms, which is norming in terms of team management. Ensure everybody understands how this team functions. You'll have less toxic conversation or dressing room conversations with teams and people. This will give you the strength of being able to pull and push to influence them to do more, sometimes go and have fun and do less. The perception that you're creating when you work like this, in terms of having a good grip on goals with people and having a very nice, strong understanding of contributions and team rules, you'll find that people are willing to stretch themselves. Everybody wants to grow. The motivation comes from realizing what do I stretch for and why. Building trust is all about the empathy you bring to the table. So that's number two. The more the empathy, the higher the belonging. The more your folks at home have empathized with you, the more you've been able to do in life for yourself and for them. Empathy is extremely simple. A non-reactive person who just allows the other human being to speak and has a very genuine look on their face and the body is showing empathy. Now, very fine, simple words like, I see, I can understand, I'm trying to figure out, I hear you, Write to me, let me think about it. You may have a point, let me think and give you a heads up later. Why don't you put this on paper and let's discuss it later? All of these kind of verbal exchanges with people make them believe that you have ears, you appear sensitive and willing to participate. The more you bring of these things alive in your conversation and interactions, the higher grows the trust. So empathy is one. To ensure you are able to cement that trust is credibility. Very simple. You break the word up. Credit for your ability. If you are able to show them, you do this yourself too. If you are able to demonstrate that in difficult times you maintain that balance, if you are able to show them that you have done this in the past, if you have people speaking about you saying that, oh, he always is like this, that's credit for what is the ability you bring to the table. A combination of empathy and credibility builds immense amount of trust. Now you do this much, you've moved out discomfort, you've brought in trust, you've made people realize that there is a specific direction we're taking together. Even if you work very hard yourself, they carry an opinion which is positive, saying, oh, I don't know how he does it, but he does so much. Against which, I don't know why he does so much and he does it so ad hocly. It keeps happening again and again and again. So let me close this by saying that allow yourself to allow people to do things in their own capacity. Ensure you bring in the rules along with the competence and capability. So good goals set, nice training, good support, very, very clear communication of rules and frameworks. You will possibly set a tone saying, I have a boss who works very hard. I'm going to try and work as hard as he does. If you can do that much, you would have covered one of the most critical out of the 7 demons that actually bring managers down. Click on the link below. You'll hear a lot more from us. And I'm sure you can take care of this small little adjustment. Finally, it's not about what it is. It's about what people realizing and understanding what it is. So enjoy your journey forward.